Joining us to discuss the road to 2024 is former White House Strategic Senior Advisor and Senior Fellow at the American Conservative Union, Mercedes Schlapp. Also with us is trial attorney and author of Keeping the Kids All Right, Barak Lurie. Welcome to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Hey, so President Biden now, of course, facing an impeachment inquiry. We're watching the indictment of his son. He's got potential charges coming from Hunter defying the House subpoena. Not really looking so good right now for the current president. A lot of folks on the left are getting really worried. This comes amid a new report saying that former President Barack Obama is apparently worried about next year's presidential election. We know that even Hillary Clinton has come in to help the Biden campaign. Mercy, they're facing an issue right now with messaging. They're facing an issue with Americans just not being satisfied with the direction the country is headed in. Do you think that they're able to turn it around?
Well, first of all, bringing in Hillary Clinton as your pitch hitter, that's very problematic, I think, for the Biden administration. And she's not a very favorable politician. With that being said, I think that President Obama and his team, if they are concerned, it's because you're looking at these polls and you're looking at the fact, even when you're watching President Biden in answering any sort of question, he is just mentally not there. It's very problematic, I think, for the Democrats. And I think you're starting to see more and more independents basically rejecting the President Biden. And I think you're also seeing even Democrats concerned about his ability to lead this country, especially as we've entered into this international turmoil. And the mere fact is that while the people are still feeling the impacts of inflation and really not feeling any sort of benefits coming from Bidenomics.
And Barak, it's so funny there, Biden's response to the polling and how bad it is compared to Trump right now. And he says, well, you're reading the wrong polls. I mean, I don't know what polls Biden is reading or thinks he's reading, but they're certainly not positive, any of them, for the current president right now. What are your thoughts as we look to 2024, their messaging, obviously, and the lead that we see with President Trump?
Well, that comment from Biden was very interesting because it really was a denial of reality. And that's the problem for them, is that they deny reality on all fronts. They deny the reality of what's happening in the border. They deny the reality of what's happening with the economy, with inflation, with what's happening in the world, for that matter, with all the confrontations that they have. These are the issues that they cannot deny, and yet they're going to be hitting this like a train very soon in, 11 months or so. So unless they completely change this candidate, completely recognize the issues, for that matter, and deal with the issues, they're going to lose in 2024.
And, you know, a lot of talk, of course, this morning about the GOP side. What we've seen is Trump obviously leading the polls by quite a bit. But in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley getting a little bit of a lead. She's got Governor Sununu's endorsement there. She is now 29% to Trump's 44%. Mercy, again, we're what, 10 months out from the 2024 election. It's still a ways away. This still seems largely, based on most of the polling we're seeing, a one-man race, and it's just a race for second among the other candidates. What are the takeaways right now as you look at this slight gain in New Hampshire? Anything that you read into when you see these new numbers?
I see that Donald Trump is going to be the Republican presidential nominee, despite the fact that you've seen these overzealous prosecutors and judges trying to take him down. I do want to say, though, look, I think when you look at the fact that you had DeSantis's campaign literally implode, you just had Jeff Rowe, their top strategist, step down, resign from the super PAC, and obviously there's been several firings. It's going to take a bit to see if they can pull themselves together. But at the same time, this gave Nikki Haley an advantage, and then you started seeing a lot of these donors fleeing Ron DeSantis, going over to Nikki Haley. I think she raised in the third quarter $11 million. That still is not where she needs to be if she wants to try to beat Donald Trump. I mean, New Hampshire is always a bit of an outlier. Just their voters are more libertarian, more independent thinking. So I'm not surprised she's doing better there. But again, once you start entering into the states like South Carolina and Florida, I just see it as Trump country.